All right. Looks like Facebook is live. Looks like YouTube is live. Hey, everybody. It's Jason Blaha here, just getting my morning cardio done. Had a pretty good workout today. I'm really happy with it. Going to be discussing some of that, a little bit of the changes based upon some stuff I said yesterday. I've done a lot of research into my old methods. I went and found tons of my old footage of what my training looked like when I could get all those heavy, really good lockouts and all the overhead pressing. I was overhead pressing all the time. I went back, I'm like, man, I did barbells, dumbbells, I did incline barbell, close grip, all sorts of stuff, right? And some things I absolutely noted. And I did further research and definitely looked really closely at, when I lost that range of motion, and I've reached some epiphanies with some of it. And even noticed stuff with my arms. Almost everything I did was non-supine work. I wasn't doing any supine position bicep work of any type, occasionally some weighted chins. But even the chins were never more than once a week. It was always neutral grip, overhand grip, right? And I had better arms than I do now. But that's its own set of topics. It's stuff I'm going to have to discuss a lot more. I started doing digging into supine curls and relationship with impingements, even stuff Winning has said on it. And absolutely, we watch my inability to lock out. Notice it's the biceps are tight. It's the long head of my bicep is getting inflamed from the supine work. I'm starting to think that guys like Winning are right, who says, hey, we probably shouldn't do any of this, really. And do we really need it? Good morning. What's up, Ryan? How you doing this morning, brother? Looks like you got a good workout in. You're getting stronger and leaner at the same body weight. You're doing pretty well. But yeah, I'm on Facebook and YouTube right now, brother. We are doing both. If you want to hop in, both. Good afternoon, Coach from UK. Hope all is well, man. Yeah, everything's good, dude. I had a really good workout. So you guys will see when we get to the workout itself. I think people will be kind of surprised what I ended up doing. I ended up doing one-arm dumbbell rows instead of my curls. All right. So that'll be fun stuff to discuss in the vlog. What's going on, Mustafa? How you guys doing? I got a couple of normals in here. I got Ryan in here, who's a client, who is pretty dang strong. Hey, Mustafa, Ryan is one of these guys. He's lost tons of weight, right? The guy's lost like 80 pounds already. And we're trying to get him to that 100-pound mark is the goal for the year, while still lifting heavy, getting bigger, stronger, more jacked, right? Yeah, no, if I curl, I'm going to do hammer curls, because I went back and checked. I had someone hating on me when that video I made, right? They were basically like, oh, that's not good for cheat hammer curls. And I don't think they realize what I call cheat curls is probably most people's strict curls. It's always funny. I know he doesn't have a client blog, Now he's doing his own little social media stuff. So since he uploads his own stuff, I don't really want to upload a lot of his, because I'll get hit for original content and stuff like Facebook. But so I went back and I was checking all the old footage around the months, around the time that picture I put up, right? I found one clip of me doing really close grip chins over the bar weighted. Everything else is neutral grip, pull-ups, hammer curls. I found some really heavy hammer curls, like 50s and 55s. That's it. My only arm work was some hammer curls, and everything was neutral or pronated grip stuff. And my overhead, I was able to overhead lock out perfectly. Dude, there's tons of footage. There's stuff of me doing rep work with mild push presses with 205, like repping it out and locking it on every rep. There's our context. Hey, Coach. When I single dumbbell row brace on the bench, I also feel my erectors. That can be problematic for your back, just board. Watch the way I do them. Right? Arrow says, hey, do you think strongman exercises can have a good carryover to power lifts? Well, the problem is, what are you calling a strongman exercise? I need you to break down what you mean. Like stimulating CNS by lifting very heavy weights. So whether it's yoke, farmer's walk, sandbags. Okay, no, you're not going to get nervous system training from that. No. Are you going to get bigger and stronger? Yes. You're not going to get nervous system training from doing those to the same degree. You're doing like more than 3 reps, dude. I mean, how many steps are you taking with the yoke? Are you doing 2 steps and then setting it down and it's like your 1 rep max? So how are you training neural drive in your nervous system? That's like saying, hey, I'm training my CNS by doing a 50 rep squat. Well, no, you probably need to do 1 to 3 reps. See what I mean? But will you get better conditioning from doing those things? Can you gain muscle from doing those things? Will the muscle mass from doing those things carry over to your power lifts? I think potentially yes. All right, those exercises have a decent hypertrophic component and they have a good conditioning component, improved work capacity, but they're not training your nervous system. You've got to go really heavy to train your nervous system. If you're looking for neural drive in the seat and training the nervous system, bro, you need to be close to maxing out. It needs to be at least 90% of your max. So if you can take 7 or 8 steps with that yoke, it's too light to give you what you're looking for. But get bigger. All that stuff can make you bigger. I mean, I do sled work and it carries over to my squat, right? So go back to 2016, Mustafa. There's tons of footage from me training at the gym where that picture is taken. By the way, are there benefits of doing singles or doubles or triples, lower reps in order for tendon strengthening? Absolutely. Heavy loads build tendons, Mustafa. Right? I mean, objectively speaking, if you wanted stronger tendons, 1 to 3 reps is going to build more tendon strength with good form. Not talking about cheat reps. Yeah, you're going to build stronger tendons in doing 10s or 12s, hands down. The only thing we're talking about with some of the band work is because of the extreme blood flow. But you're not getting that doing 15. Like we're talking those 50 rep sets. Yeah, we start hitting 90% and up. So let's talk about tendon. Mustafa, what you see me doing on the bench, those heavy singles with a pause. Well, it's not about you. You asked a general question. I mean, I'm giving you a general answer, right? Am I not? You didn't say, hey, I need to know for Mustafa. You asked me, can heavy work? See what I mean? So do you want me to answer it for Mustafa or for my whole audience of people watching on both platforms? You know what I mean, bro? Yeah. So those heavy singles I'm doing will absolutely strengthen the pec tendon, especially those pauses at the bottom. Yeah. Coach, what's your opinion on RDLs? I think they're a good exercise. Feed Me says been having eggs, kidney beans, brown rice, all mixing, keeps you full for hours. That's a good combo. Just Sports says, like up the live, guys. What are y'all doing? Tell them, man. Get an amazing free information. Least you can do is hit the like. That's right. If you aren't going to drop me supers, at least hit the likes, guys. I'm kind of nervous to do a single at 140 kilos. Why? It's not even heavy. Mustafa, you did 10 reps with 110 kilos. 140 better not be your max. If you can only do 1 rep with that, it's because you're just not used to singles. You'll be hitting triples with it in 3 weeks. Like that should not be your max at all. 140 kg, if you can do 10 reps pause with 110 kilos, isn't your max. It might feel heavy the first time you do it. So ramp up to it. Go 120 for a single, 130 for a single, 140 for a single. Build up to it. I think you'll be surprised. All right. Big up, Coach. What's going on, Pepper Matt? So, guys, I'm going to have to discuss a lot more as we go. I really think the longer I've researched it and dug into it, looked at my old footage, I think it's all the supine work that has caused my shoulder thing. And I hate to admit it, if that's true, then Matt Winning is one smart vote, though, because doesn't Matt Winning tell you You really shouldn't do anything with a supine. Chin-ups, curls, no, you probably just shouldn't do it for longevity. Doesn't he say that? Look at what happens with my biceps and my overhead stuff. I didn't have that problem at all. So we go to that 2016 stuff. I went and looked at a bunch of the footage, right, while I was getting another work done. I was getting all those pretty clean lockouts on all the overhead stuff. Even up through 2018, like I was getting it with barbells, push presses, strict presses, dumbbells. I got overhead like a mofo. There is almost nothing showing me doing anything with an underhand grip. I found chin-ups one time. I found one set of weighted chins with a really close grip anywhere, looking through like 2016. Everything is neutral grip or pronated. Everything. Literally everything I did. Even my curls were hammer curls. My pull-ups were all neutral to overhand. My rows were all overhand, unless I did dumbbells. And it makes sense biomechanically. So I did some digging, and apparently supine grip stuff and curl overuse can cause shoulder impingement through inflammation of the long head. I went and found other people on worms who couldn't overhead press me. Like I quit doing anything underhand grip. I quit doing curls, and all of a sudden I could overhead press again in a week. Yeah, that pic with the Superman shirt. And that's what I'm talking about, feed me. I went and looked at training footage. I was living on incline and overhead work. And again, I found overhead work, strict presses, push presses, clean and push presses, clean and presses, doing them out of a rack, cleaning a lot of them, dumbbells. I found a bunch of footage of me doing heavy incline, close grip, dips, pull-ups. There's nothing underhand grip at all. Nothing. I found some hammer curls, some really heavy hammer curls in there. The only isolation work I found was hammer curls. But I was able to overhead really well with no problems. And right now, the only way I can get into that position is with a full hang. So again, when I'm assessing, it's my biceps are tight. And my biceps are probably inflamed. Does weight loss negatively affect the squat or the bench more for you? Marcinio, there's no pattern, quite frankly. Hey, Mustafa, you don't need to be doing speed work. You're not running conjugate. I don't ever program speed work with people not doing conjugate. There's no need for you to do it right now with what you're doing, personally. So Marcinio, sometimes it's the squat, sometimes it's the deadlift, sometimes it's the bench. I've never seen a consistent pattern with which one gets hit the worst. Considering I've cut and stuff numerous times over the years, right? I felt like that last bigger cut, my squat was hit the most, but right now my squat's doing okay. My deadlift feels the most hit, and my bench is going up a little. So it's probably muscle memory from the dips, though. You know, yeah. How many singles a week? I don't know, maybe 3. I do 3. I mean, I ramp to a training max every workout. So what do you see me do, Mustafa? You know, but you need to ease into that. Maybe start with 1. Maybe start with just 1 training max a week, right? Assess it. Don't go too hard. You could do 1 a week for each of your big lifts, your squat, your bench. I don't think you deadlift. The Marcinio, it depends on the person. My squat originally during that class, longer cut, but these days I feel like the deadlift is suffering the most. But I'm not that worried. I can always get my deadlift back up. always get my deadlift back up. I feel like a lot of that's grip. I noticed when I did the one-arm dumbbell rows today, my grip was really a little weaker. So I'm like, okay, we need to be doing all this pronated pulling. Maybe add some hammer curls in eventually, but I want to leave the hammer curls out for just a minute, see if my shoulders range of motion will return with no curling and nothing underhand grip. I want to see what happens. Let's see if this theory is right. I've seen physical therapists talk about it. Almost 365, probably close. I mean, that 350 was an all-out max. But what happens if it keeps going up? It's like, even if I get lower, would it be recomp? Lazar Angelov, I have no idea. Mustafa, you're going to have to ask Lazar these questions. I have no idea. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. I know you're kind of fascinated with him, but I really just don't care about him enough to research. I just don't care enough, dude. Makes sense. He's just not relevant to my life in any way. So I really don't have the time to go dig into his whole past and history and his training and what he looked like at the time he got hurt and had multiple. I just don't have time. And quite frankly, I really just don't care. Then quit overtraining, Mustafa. You can't do stuff like tell me, hey, I want to do 20 sets of isolation for a muscle, and then later say you're scared of injuries. You can't have it both ways. You can't have overuse and be obsessed with overuse and pushing overuse stuff, and then say at the same time you're terrified of being hurt. Like, those are a conflict of interest. Because what's the number one cause of weight room injuries, according to all the researchers? Overuse. So you can't tell me, hey, I want to do 20 sets for my side delts a week. You know what I mean? I don't know how to answer that, Marcinio. I do not have an answer to your question. I'm trying to be in a deficit, but I seem to be recomping. Is that a fair answer? So I'm going to try to push back into a deficit again. And we'll see what happens this week. And I may need to take the sodium down and stuff to get a whoosh. I'm eating a ton of salt. Maybe I don't need that much salt. And see what happens. But we're doing the fasted cardio now. You're still looking good at 210. Yeah, it's coming along, you know. I scaled down my volume and frequency. So there you go, Mustafa. That's what you need to do if you care about injuries. Like, you can't come in and tell me, oh, I want to do endless sets. I want to do tons of extra restoration. Or like, no, that's actually how you're going to get hurt. I mean, if you just need exercise addiction, do some cardio. If you need to do something, you know. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure Lazard used a lot of gear and did something wrong, but I can't tell you what caused an individual person's problems if I didn't study their training and their drug stack in detail. You know, I mean, how could I possibly know? And I barely remember the guy. Like, I know vaguely who he is, and I know the dude did some porn and was a fitness model, but I'm not going to stand here and try to speculate his drug stacks. It's a waste of my time. Quit chasing the super dry look would be a big piece of advice, though. Like, if you don't want to get hurt, then quit crashing your estrogen. Would also be good advice, you know. Avoid trend. Yeah, excessively low estrogen absolutely causes tendon tears. Well, then it's not dry. It's nothing to do with they didn't get dry. It's no, you're misunderstanding. Okay. Estrogen is critical for tendon health. When your estrogen drops too low, keep in mind, a lot of guys crash their estrogen to try to get the drier look. So invariably, low estrogen leads to reduced tendon strength because you need it for collagen synthesis in your tendons. technically guys are less likely to get injured if their estrogen is slightly high because they're going to have stronger tendons. Good guys forget about that. So excessively low estrogen all the time, crashing E2, leads to higher rate of tendon ruptures. Right? Because your tendons are just weaker. They're growing slower, they're regenerating slower, they're healing slower. Yeah. But yeah, I appreciate that, Feed Me Mortals. But yeah, I can't answer that because I have no idea what his training looked like, honestly. So, but let's get over to other people's stuff. What do we got on YouTube? Peppermint, I'm convinced, so we're looking back at your question, I'm convinced the supine stuff has been the issue. It's the thing that makes the most sense at this point when I look at it. Difference between pushing through the heels versus balls of feet on a GHR. I don't know. I mean, you're probably going to get calf cramps if you're pushing through your toes. So, I mean, realistically, you should probably have your heels dug in to some extent. But, I mean, it's a GHR. I don't know that we need to think about that much just to build the hamstring. But, I mean, from a practical perspective, sure, if your heel isn't decently placed on there and you're not pushing through it at all, you're possibly going to get some calf cramps. For no benefit, you're not going to stimulate more hamstring from it, right? And it's not like it's not a calf exercise too already. I mean, your calves are going to get trained on it any way you do it, even with the heels down, just like they go on the squat or sled work or anything else, you know? Context, people. Oh, on the sleds today, I hooked up my harness and drug that sled. Normally the one I used to use on the flat bottom sled on grass, but I still have that sled. I hooked that up today. It was harder. It was super hard. Like I had to stop in the middle and breathe. I couldn't even get back to get the camera off. I was like 30 yards in front of the camera and I had to stop. I couldn't handle it. I couldn't drag it. But, so again, for the people, they don't like my list cardio. Oh, your list cardio isn't true cardio, but then I go do the sled. Like, I think dudes forget I'm doing every modality. We're doing rep work for hypertrophy. I'm doing heavy singles for strength. I'm doing box jumps for speed. I'm doing sled work for conditioning. We're doing list cardio for calorie burn and endurance. You know, I'm trying to train a little bit of everything. I'm trying to stay well-rounded. You know, I don't know. It won't be till this afternoon we stop at the vlog. I haven't recorded it yet. I haven't even edited all of it together, and I haven't recorded it. I'll probably do that after this cardio session, but I want to get a second cardio session in today too before I eat. All right, I've really got to take getting leaner really serious at this point. I have to. So I got to try to squeeze the other cardios and stuff in. You know, got to make it all happen. But back to James's question with the GHR. I mean, sometimes you're going to end up with the toes anyways. It's going to happen sometimes anyways. But really, if you're not getting through the heels at all, you may end up getting some calf cramps. So just from a pragmatic perspective, ideally you want to be through the heel, but you might end up being a little bit on the toes as you go and slip and move around no matter what on a GHR. Especially depending on how much adjustment, how ergonomic the one you have is. Tyrone hit that live coach. I appreciate it, Tyrone. I'm not singing this. Trying not to sing. As soon as I said it, I'm like, you need to call Tyrone. God. It'd be like he's gonna laugh. You actually know that song. Yeah, I actually know that song. I'm going down with the lower rep range, 1 to 4 reps. Interesting, Scott. Oh man. might have cause. Yeah, maybe you reduce your supine work. Well, if it's scar tissue, then I'm screwed. You mean inflammation or you mean scar tissue we talk about? If it's scar tissue, I'm completely screwed. There is no reversing that. If it's scar tissue, it'll have to be cut out. So I'm hoping it's just long-term inflammation. Traps looking pumped today, Coach. Appreciate it. Well, we did dumbbell rows as a finisher today. All right. So then traps is like, like that, you know. I've been running your Ice Cream Fitness 5x5 plan for 2 months now. I've seen progress, but I'm lacking in my lower chest, making it look unproportionate. Are you pushing the bench? The bench press should be sorting that for you. Are you not pausing on your bench, George? Are you taking a wide enough grip and actually pausing the bench, or are you bouncing that bench off your chest? If you're not controlling that bench and you have any bounce, that will explain it. But otherwise, you're going to have to just get bigger. I mean, as you continue to get stronger on a correctly performed bench, your chest is going to grow. You got to keep in mind, you're not that big yet. So your chest isn't going to be that big yet. So what exactly are you pondering? Well, Edie, did you not watch the video? See, this is the live stream. So I made a whole video explaining something. You could go watch it. Most offices rely on hammer curls for a while. I agree. And well, my biceps were probably bigger back during that picture, and all I did was hammer curls and pull-ups and things. So okay. So then you watched the video. So you saw what I'm pondering. All right, next. Little Arab had great results with farmer's walks carry over to my lifts. Yeah, that's like I was saying. I mean, the same with sled work. I mean, I personally find the sled carries over massively to my squat. And I'm not the only person who says that. That's not Blaha making it up. Plenty of lifters say that. How big do you think they were in the picture? I don't know, Ruben. I think they were bigger than they are now. I mean, objectively, I think they were bigger than they are now. So, hey, Coach, how much weight are you pushing on that sled? Depends on what I do with it. I mean, I don't know what the sled weighs. I would need to look it up. It's a rogue sled. A lot of times I'm doing 40, 45. I put 90 on it yesterday once, and I drug 90. Context there. I am on nylon feet on asphalt. It's way harder than, say, when people push them down carpet. It's not even comparable. It's because I push some sleds inside gyms that are on a bit of carpeted floor. Dude, you can stack hundreds of pounds on those. Man. Hey, 80. No one said it was off topic. I didn't ban you, did I? But you didn't ask anything. You didn't mention arms at all. You asked me what am I pondering about isolation work, and you had a whole video on it. So if we want to talk about arm training, then just ask me about arms. You didn't ask about it. No. Okay, hold on. Let me check something. These are always easy to pin down. Okay, here we go. Peppermint. Peppermint's about to laugh. No, Peppermint, he's a new account. So these are easy to spot. No one makes a new account to come in a live stream today that's a day old and gets argumentative. That's not a troll. Yeah. Let's just get out of here. Very straightforward. Michael in Facebook, hey, Coach, can you explain about squeezing the bar on the bench press? You mentioned in last week's stream, but wondered the reason behind it and how it works. Okay. Michael, I can send it to you later. I have a extremely detailed video on that I did this year. Like a very detailed video. So generally with the squeezing the bar, it's to lock your lats in, because if you don't squeeze the bar, you can't activate the lats on the eccentric rep, because you need to be able to break it in. And if you do not squeeze the bar. When you go to break it in, it's going to roll up into the palm of your hand. And now it's going to turn into shoulder pain. Right? And I'm not explaining it well because I'm on the bike doing cardio. But I think I have one. If you check my channel search engine, it's going to be grip. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know. Let me just look for it. Let me just help you out. Let me see if I can find it. Aha. All right. Let me just do this the easy way. Make my life a lot easier. All right. There you go. Michael, I just linked it for you. It's a highly detailed video. I'll link it in the stream to YouTube. Yeah. Turtle Bob said, I haven't done an isolation in months or an accessory, and I've gotten nothing but gotten stronger, right? Fair. Coach, what's your favorite food? Right now, rice and potatoes are my favorite food. Potatoes are my favorite food right now because that's what I'm eating. And I need to lose body fat. So I need to believe on a deep level that the potato and rice are the most delicious foods in the entire world, and I love them. They're actually better than sex. See how that works? Next. Your favorite food should be whatever you need to eat right now to reach your goals. And you have to learn to love it and know that it's delicious. So I'm bored. You know that Coach is cutting and you're going to talk to me about desserts. I thought you were a positive poster. So you're actually just a troll. Not cool, man. You're 100% a troll. No fitness person would tell someone who's cutting want them to talk about their favorite dessert. You're a troll. Why are you eating desserts? Do you not care about your fitness? So you don't care about your fitness. You want to stand around eating garbage and shoveling garbage into your fat, disgusting face. You want cancer and diabetes. That's what you're telling me. I'm gonna give some tough love here. I mean, you're coming into a fitness channel wanting to talk about your favorite desserts. Why don't you go to a normal, like standard American diet channel and talk with all the fat diabetic people about it? Yeah, he's been a good poster. So I'm just going to give him a little bit of tough love there. There you go. Mustafa said cantaloupes, melons, apples, bananas. Those are great desserts. Been deadlifting for years and people still say I have a small back. What should I do, Coach? Try adding some pull-ups. Get strong at weighted pull-ups to go with those deadlifts. Coach, I greatly respect you and just want to know if you had any cheat meals. No, I don't do cheat meals. You already know this. I also do pull-ups. Well, keep getting stronger at them. I didn't mean to offend you. Is watermelon classed as dessert? I think it can be. I love watermelon personally. I have a cheat meal. Yeah, I don't. I can't. I have too big of an appetite. I have an insane appetite. So right now it's not an option. My last cheat meal was on Christmas Day. So 10 out of 10. Dude, I ate the sweetest watermelon ever. Yeah, awesome, Mustafa. No, dude, when you don't eat junk food at all, stuff like watermelon tastes amazing. Cantaloupe tastes amazing once your taste buds are sensitized. I haven't done an isolation or accessory in months. I've gotten stronger doing this. That happens a lot of times, Turtle. You get real strong. You get strong and big on big movements. Like, hopefully no one's in denial of this fact. But what do you mean no accessories? So what lifts are you doing, Turtle? Are you only squat, benching, and deadlifting? So I don't know what you're classifying as an accessory. Do you count a pull-up as an accessory or a primary movement for you, as an example? I'm going to stick at 275. I'll deadlift yours, tried high volume, high frequency, high intensity. You need to get stronger. Problem is you're working with 275 on the deadlift. Of course you don't have a big back. It's 275, assuming you're a male. Now, if you're a woman, this should be fine. Right? Yeah, you need to get stronger. Yeah, you need to get a lot stronger. So why would you expect to have a big back doing 275 for your work sets on the deadlift? Like, why would you think that you would have a big back? I'm not being offensive. I'm just saying that's novice numbers. So you're going to have a novice size back. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with your programming, bro. You might need to hit me consultation. Okay. Facebook consultation time for you, my friend, because I can't help you in a live stream. But here's my Facebook. Message me there and let's discuss what we can do to help you out. Like, I can set you up for one of my paid consultations and we can go through and look at your training. I can write some programming, but clearly something is off. Turtle Bob says, I squat, bench, dead, overhead press, chin, clean. That's it. But that's 6 exercises, Turtle. So, I mean, normally you're saying you're not doing, well, that's actually a lot of accessory, to be fair. No isolation, though. Yeah, he might be just doing too many reps and burning out on the deadlift. But he's saying he does 275 for reps, but how many reps here are we talking about? 20, 12, 3, you know, big difference. You said you also do pull-ups. So now, so I can work with you in a consultation and we can see if we can fix that. No, he means pounds from Mustafa. No, he means pounds. Like 6 to 8 with 275. I mean, well, you're not going to have that big of a back. I mean, that's a good novice base started, but realistically speaking, you're just not strong enough to build a big back. Yeah, exactly. Scott tells you put 315 on the bar and do some work sets with that. If you can do 6 to 8 with 275, you can rep 315. You need to be progressively overloading here. And you need to get stronger at pull-ups. All right. So this is my knowledge as a coach. It has nothing to do with my personal experience. Guys, I lift all the time. I just don't get. So I've already explained why you're not programming it progressively, overloading it correctly, or getting strong enough. So again, we can do a consultation. But again, that's the coaching knowledge. It's not any of my personal, because I don't know what it's like to have a sub 405 deadlift. I have no concept of what that it even feels like. I've never had a deadlift under that at any point in a gym since the first day I deadlifted. So, Turtle, how's he been? Let's check out. Is he a new person? All right. Turtle says, from time to time, I have noticed a bit of advantage to heavy bench negatives to the pins, but that's the only thing I think I've done in the past few months aside from the main lifts. Okay. But that's a lot of lifts, Turtle. I mean, that's a pretty good amount of variation. It's not like you're not doing different things. So, but I'm not arguing with the results you're getting. It's just that when you said no accessory, I'm thinking you're doing the squat, bench, and deadlift going on. right? But you're doing 6 big exercises. Well, of course you're getting bigger and stronger, right? Like, why wouldn't you? Right? You're pushing hard progressive overload on 6 big movements. Your whole body's being worked. Every muscle's being worked. Of course you're going to get bigger and stronger. No, Mustafa, he was a troll. I got rid of him anyways. Okay. 275. These guys think they're slick. You guys need to make your accounts a year ago that you want to troll them. All right. Oh, man. See, Scott, we wasted time. We are live, Dean. How did you manage to have a 400 deadlift starting out? I was already squatting first. I already had a 405 squat by the time I tried the deadlift, and I pulled 455 my first day. Yeah. But even later, I've like not deadlifted and then came back. And even when I was learning to walk again, I was still walking with a cane trying to lose weight. And I still could pull over 300, like as a crippled person who could barely walk. So it didn't take me long. It took me a month to pull 405, and I was still walking with a cane. Relearning to walk. 300. 60%. You tell them, Dean. Squats will build your deadlift on. Yeah, they honestly will. I was just doing some squats, a bit of cleans, obviously back work and stuff, and I pulled 455. I mean, rows and squats will build your deadlift. Any advantage to doing feet elevated bench press versus floor press? We could get into big arguments, range of motion differences. The floor press is going to be a stricter movement, but if you can't touch your chest, in theory, the feet elevated bench press is called a Larson press. Technically going to get more range of motion if you can't make chest contact on a floor press. Turtle says, I know some people may disagree with it, but think your advice back in 2016, 2017. I mean, that's the thing. Look at how I looked in that picture. That was 2016. I was doing full body, only compounds. The only isolation movement I could find to looking through stuff was hammer curls. I was pretty jacked. I guess that's proves the squats will build. I don't know if they'll build decent hamstrings. They'll build some hamstring. You're not going to get monstrous hamstrings. But if you're deadlifting too, I think deadlifts build hamstrings. Does the sled build hamstrings? I think it does also. But I still like good mornings. How much sodium am I consuming? Have I been consuming? Probably 6 to 8 grams a day. I'm probably going to trim it down and see if I swoosh some water off. I probably will. That'd be funny if all of a sudden all it took was me taking the fat out for better satiety and going back to all carbohydrate with the fasting and just drop the sodium and see if I just pee it all out. Would be funny. Usually eat more. That's not a lot. What do you mean that's not a lot? If I was a fat person, the doctor would be freaking out with that much sodium. You usually eat more. You're telling me you eat more than 8 grams of sodium a day? Like, how many spoonfuls of salt are you dumping in your food? Yeah. All right. Coach, good morning. Yesterday I fell down and ate lots of bad foods, basically bench, feeling like crap, but I still hit the gym and maybe fast through the day. Now you need to just get back on point with your diet. That's what you need to do, Frederico. Hey, Dean, you got to start a what's it called? A super chat challenge, man. Nobody's dropped any supers. I got a bunch of them a few days ago. There hasn't been any yesterday or today. Maybe tomorrow, though, we'll have long streams. This will be a cardio only day. It might kick up. So, well, I was trying to stay full and stay hydrated, but I'm sweating less because I'm gotten used to the heat. I'm doing less walking outside. I'm not sweating as much now that I'm climatized, so I can probably bring it all the way down. My workouts are great, so I don't know that I need to be adding salt at all. Probably help my appetite more. So then what happens? What happens if I'm actually holding 5 or 6 pounds of water from the salt? Yeah, see what happens. I'm gonna keep the potassium crazy though. All right, I'm gonna keep adding potassium to everything. Let's say someone deadlifts on Friday and squats on Monday. Is the Monday squat enough to re-stimulate the muscle protein since it's from the hamstrings? Maybe, probably. Good question, Opasm. I'm gonna go with yes. That's why on some full bodies you can alternate squats and deadlifts if you're going to do them for volume. Reach up and ring coach's bell, guys. Tell them, man. No, Bo, the guy with the novice deadlifter, probably has novice background. He does, but he was a troll. He wasn't serious. He was total fake account. So that was his second account banned already in this stream today. It's an FYI. He dropped a hint that he was someone else I already got rid of. Dropped the same key phrase back in there, and he was a new account made today. He probably doesn't even lift. All right. All right. Next. My coach has advanced deadlift, so advanced back. I mean, right? I mean, I can do rep work with 500 plus, and I do pull-ups, and I did some rows. I did some dumbbell rows today. They felt really good. Although my grip, I had a girlish grip today. I'm like, all right, we know we got to work on that. Like my forearms maybe shrunk too. We need to bring those forearms up. Yeah, I did dumbbell rows today as a finisher. Oh, they felt good too. I'm gonna make a clip of that. One of my dumbbell row clips, because people don't like how I perform them, like you're never going to build your back doing that, got 80,000 views on Facebook sometime back. So I'm gonna see if I can replicate that. I know a keyword and pulled it off. What's your thoughts on eating a Rice Krispie before workout for fast absorbing? I train fasted, dude. Bro, you've watched me squat 500 and deadlift 600 and then train for 2 hours on no calories. I train fasted. So what are my thoughts on it? Why do you need fast? Why exactly do you need these fast absorbing carbs to train? Flip side, coach does preachers with 85 pounds of reps that coach has not. Well, that's just as strong as they get. I think the curls haven't done anything for me. It's why I'm going to be taking them out other than hammer curls. I think that's caused nothing but overuse and inflammation in my biceps. But we're going to discuss all that later. You guys will see this stuff in the blog. Jacob said, if you run conjugate and are doing 5 rep maxes for my day, no, do 1 rep maxes. Is there any reason you couldn't do 6, 7, 8 on any day, or would you just, I suggest you do singles. Get rid of this. Not a crazy troll nonsense. I don't know why people keep saying that nonsense. It's like not even true. But we're going to keep it fitness. I'm not going to reply. You guys do know, though, you've completely fabricated that. It's not based on anything in reality at all. Not even remotely true. All right. We'll have it. So, gotcha, Jacob. Ted says axle bar rows and curls are working great for my grip. Try reverse grip curls with the axle bar, floor press with it as shoulder saver. Yeah, all chest. Yep. That's why I have you doing that floor press with it. I used to do floor presses with the axle. It's phenomenal. Yeah, axle bar rows definitely build grip. All right. So if I need to take out all my supine stuff, so it's not, I can't underhand grip. I'm just going to do hammer curls when I do curls. I'm going to take all the curls out for just a little bit and see what happens with the shoulder though. If someone can do 135 reps, of course they will. But they're going to have big arms long before they get anywhere near that. It's kind of a silly statement, right? So kind of a silly statement, isn't it? But at least, guys, don't make the channel the same day you want to come roll. You guys have to get better about this. Y'all got to learn to make 100 accounts 6 months ago and then wait to hit with them. All right. We saw this. They're going to ramp up the training packs tomorrow, coach, and do some high rep sets on the bench and dips. Awesome. I did 8s today on the dips. I bumped the weight up. So doing that dead stop out of the bottom, I did 70 and I got 3 sets of 8. But I hit failure on all of them. I totally hit failure at 9. I just flat stuck at the bottom. They felt good though. I'm going to add some incline work on Friday. I wanted to not do it today. I'm either going to do a dumbbell or a closed grip incline. Can the general population do all their deadlift and double overhand? No, they're going to be weak. They're never going to build their posterior chain and back doing that. Just learn to mix grip. It's not hard. It's not difficult to learn to mix grip. Can't wait to watch the vlog later. I filmed a couple sets of the boxes today, though. Boxes are looking a little, first rep was a little dicey. They're getting a little cleaner. So coach is doing box work, doing sled work in addition to all my training. But no opasm, their grip is going to be the limiting factor forever. They're never going to build their back and their posterior chain if they do that. You know. Cool. Catch you later, Mustafa. Why fails on box squat? What do you mean? What do you mean why fails on box squat? Because you weren't strong enough to lift the weight? I don't know. Would be the most likely. Box jumps, jumping. No, the form is a little left a little be desired at first. I just started doing them the other day again. My second workout doing them. Yeah. Then they cleaned up. So I've got to get the form a little bit prettier, but then they got a little better. So yeah, we're doing box jumps again. I said I'm going to add more athletic stuff as we go with this. I said that a while back. We added the sled in. All right. I've been doing the sled at least 5 days a week. I added box work in on Monday. I did it again today. All right. I want to work on getting some overhead stuff in, but I've got to get those tendons sorted. I think I've got it figured out. Right. So we need to be athletic. I need to get leaner and more athletic. Right. Got to be athletic. We don't want to just be strong. We need to be conditioned. We need to be athletic. Right? That's fitness. Is it not? Does everyone agree? Anybody disagree with that point? Especially as we get older, guys, and we need to be more fit. We should all be strong. We should be jacked. We should be lean. We should be conditioned. And we should be explosive. Well, Pastor, I guess that explains why squat as much as I deadlift. Well, yeah, you're double overhanding. Would you ever consider doing amateur strongman comp? The main weight classes are right around where you're cutting goals. Ted, the problem is my lack of balance. My vestibular labyrinths are destroyed. So my concern would be injury. Right? Like I can't ride a bike, for example. Other than this, because it's a recumbent bike. Like I can't get on a bike and ride it down the street. So some of the events could be a problem for me. Like I medically do not possess a sense of balance. It's gone. Like confirmed with my actual medical history. So And it's due to damage to the physical structures inside my skull that create your balance, your sense of balance. Confirmed on MRIs and in laser balance tests, confirmed the loss of balance. So it's in my medical records. Like I shouldn't be able to do what I do already. Like the fact that I can power lift is already a bit of an outlier. But I wanted it bad enough. You know, that's the thing. But it seems like Strongman, it's almost like, man, as cool as it might seem, that would be my concern. My other concern is all the equipment they use is just stupid. If it was raw, it would be a better sport. You know, just like I don't want to do a quick powerlifting. Strongman is all equipment. They're all wrapped up like mummies. And it gives such an enormous advantage. And it's just, I just don't want to do that. I mean, if they're out there in just a pair of shorts, it'd be fine. What's up with wood chippers at rotational systems athletic friendly, I suppose. Longevity is key. I agree, Shamar. How do I fix my skinny fat? You need to lose some body fat. You need to recomp. You need to probably stay at the same body weight, eat really, really clean. I'm not going to tell you how to attract women. That's not what this channel. That is almost get you out of here. That has nothing to do with this channel. It's a fitness channel. Get out of here with your nonsense. Lionel. Hello, how you doing, Lionel? I don't speak Spanish, bro. Lionel, habla inglés? So, what is wood chippers? It's a oblique type exercise. Rotational movements guys do. Yep. Box squats are harder than normal back squats. Generally, yes, done correctly, they should be more difficult. All right, I just told you this is a fitness channel. You've now asked 2 non-fitness related questions, Yaha. That's 2 strikes. Next one, you get banned. Fitness channel, Jason Blaha, strength and fitness. Box squats, you have to pause, right? If you stay tight and don't rock it, they should be more difficult. You should not be able to do quite as much weight as you back squat. Okay. Box squats is less range of motion. Why would it be less range of motion? Cart. The box squat you're doing might be less range of motion. Why would it be less range of motion? Can't you just get on a shorter box? I mean, you set your box height, right? Dudes do boxes as low as 8 inches. So boxes come in different heights. Usually you stack mats. Like I have mats over in storage. So whenever I wanted to adjust it by the inch, I used to stack those mats 1-inch increments. That's how they do it. A lot of powerlifting gyms do it that way, where they even have adjustable boxes. All right. So you set it where you need it to be. So when we say it's harder, we're talking a going below parallel box squat. We're not talking about a high box. Right. Yeah, I guess that's fitness related. Yes, they do. But again, let's stick to how to get you jacked then. So I have free programs here. Eat a clean diet, eat a healthy diet, recomposition, and get on a solid training program. Right? Focus on your basic lifts, your squat, bench, deadlift, rows, pull-ups. Right? Eat a clean, balanced diet. And stay around maintenance and recomposition, and your skinny fat will be fixed. Very simple. Lionel, I understand some Spanish. I don't read Spanish. I know he always spams tons of Spanish. All right, you keep asking non-fitness questions. I gave you a warning. Bye. Next. Fair warning was given. Fair warning was given, guys. Yeah, exactly. Cart facts. All right, we're about to cross the hour. I'm going to go ahead and close out the Facebook. Love you guys there. And we're about to get out of here. I did give fair warning. I told him last try and he went like 3 more. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wind this down. Love you guys. I'll try to get another one of these in here in a bit.